the dream I can't escape for the past 6 months. I've had the ability to enter someone else's dreams every night. Should not just watch them, actually appear in them. Talk to the dreamer, live entire experiences inside their subconscious mind. A woman whose dreams I invade is named Emma, and she has no idea I exist in real life. But here's the problem. We've fallen in love with each other in her dreams, and now I found her in the real world. Tonight, I'm going to walk into her coffee shop and reveal that her perfect dream boyfriend is actually a stranger who's been inside her mind for 6 months. This is a story of how I discovered this impossible ability, why I can't stop using it, and what happened when fantasy became reality. But here's the thing that's been eating me alive. 2 weeks ago, I finally found her in real life. She lives 3 blocks away from me, works at the coffee shop I pass every morning, and has no idea that the man she's been falling in love with in her dreams is walking past her window every single day. I never asked for this ability. I never wanted to invade someone's most private moments. But 6 months ago, something changed in my brain. Maybe it was the accident. Maybe it was the coma. Maybe it was the experimental treatment they used to wake me up. All I know is that when I sleep, I don't dream my own dreams anymore. I dream hers. The first time it happened, I thought I was losing my mind. I found myself standing in what looked like a library made entirely of crystal, watching a woman with long dark hair organize books that turned into butterflies when she touched them. She looked at me with these incredible green eyes and said, "Oh, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you." I tried to speak, tried to ask her who she was, where we were, what she meant by waiting. But in her dream, I wasn't myself. I was whoever she needed me to be. That night, I was apparently someone she'd been expecting, someone she trusted completely. We spent what felt like hours walking through her crystal library while she told me about her fears of not being smart enough, creative enough, good enough. When I woke up, I could remember every detail. Her voice, her laugh, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear when she was thinking. I convinced myself it was just a weird, vivid dream brought on by the medications I was taking. But then it happened again the next night. This time, we were dancing in a ballroom filled with floating candles, while she cried about her ex-boyfriend who had cheated on her with her best friend. I held her while she sobbed, and somehow I knew exactly what to say to comfort her. In her dream, I was a perfect partner, understanding, supportive, and completely devoted to her happiness. Night after night, I became whoever she needed. Some nights I was her therapist, listening to her process childhood trauma. Other nights I was her adventure partner, exploring fantasy worlds she created from her deepest desires. Sometimes I was her protector, fighting off nightmares that manifested as shadow creatures trying to drag her into darkness. But most nights, I was her lover. Not just physically, though the intimacy we shared in her dreams was more intense than anything I'd ever experienced in real life. I was emotionally intimate with her in ways that felt impossible. She would tell me secrets she'd never shared with anyone, fears she'd never voiced, dreams within dreams that she'd never dared to pursue. I began to fall in love with her mind, her heart, her soul, all while knowing that she had no idea I actually existed. The worst part wasn't the invasion of privacy, or that guilt aided me constantly. The worst part was that in her dreams, she was falling in love with me too. Not the real me, the me that was awkward and uncertain and still recovering from a traumatic accident. She was falling in love with a version of me that was everything she needed, someone who understood her perfectly, because it's literally experiencing her subconscious needs. She started having dreams where she would tell me she loved me, dreams where she would beg me not to leave when she started to wake up, dreams where she would cry because she couldn't figure out how to find me in the waking world. "I know you're real," she would say to me in her dreams. "I know you exist somewhere. I can feel it. But how do I find someone who only exists when I'm asleep?" Those dreams broke my heart because I knew the answer. I was 3 blocks away, walking past her coffee shop every morning, wanting desperately to talk to her, but knowing I couldn't explain how I knew so much about her innermost thoughts and feelings. 3 weeks ago, her dreams started changing. Instead of the fantasy worlds and symbolic landscapes, she began dreaming about real places. Her apartment, her workplace, the coffee shop where she worked. She was trying to give me clues, trying to help her dream lover find her in reality. In one dream, she took me on a tour of her daily routine. She showed me the coffee shop, describing exactly where she worked, what her schedule was, what she looked like in real life. She was practically begging her subconscious to help her mysterious dream man locate her. That's when I realized she didn't just love the dream version of me. She was actively trying to manifest me in her waking life. So I started watching her. Not stalking, I want to be clear about that. But I would time my morning walks to coincide with her opening routine at the coffee shop. I would sit in the park across the street and watch her through the window, seeing if the woman I'd fallen in love with in dreams was the same person in reality. She was even more beautiful awake than asleep. In dreams, her appearance shifted slightly based on her mood and confidence levels. But in real life, she had this natural grace, this genuine warmth that drew people to her. I watched customers light up when she smiled at them. I saw her stay late to help a struggling teenager with homework. I witnessed her give free coffee to a homeless man who counted out pennies. Everything I learned about her character in dreams was true in reality. She really was as kind, as thoughtful, as genuinely good as she appeared in her subconscious mind. But I also saw her sadness. She would get these distant looks, like she was searching for something she couldn't quite remember. She kept a dream journal at work, writing frantically every morning as if trying to capture something before it slipped away. Last week, I couldn't stand it anymore. I needed to know while she was writing, needed to understand how my presence in her dreams was affecting her waking life. So I went into the coffee shop for the first time. When she looked at me, I saw a flicker of recognition cross her face. Not full recognition. She didn't know who I was, but something in her eyes suggested I looked familiar, like maybe she'd seen me somewhere before but couldn't place where. "Time help you?" she asked, and hearing her voice in the waking world after 6 months of dream conversations nearly knocked me over. I ordered a coffee, paid, and sat in the corner where I could see her journal. Every few minutes, she would glance at me with this puzzled expression, like she was trying to solve a riddle. When she went to the back room for supplies, I did something I'm not proud of. I looked at her journal. The most recent entry was from that morning, and it was about me. It was different than last night's dream, more solid, more real. I could see his face so clearly, and I swear I've seen it before. Dark hair, brown eyes, that scar above his left eyebrow. He seemed sad about something, guilty. He kept trying to tell me something important, but couldn't get the words out. I woke up feeling like I was losing something precious, like there was something I needed to remember, but couldn't quite grasp. The scar above my left eyebrow was from the accident that started all of this. She was seeing me exactly as I am, which meant somehow the real me was bleeding through into her dreams. That night, her dream was different. Instead of the fantastical settings we usually met in, I found myself in an exact replica of the coffee shop. She was there, looking exactly as she had that morning. But this time, she stared at me with dawning recognition. "It's you," she whispered. "You were in the coffee shop today. You're real." I tried to deflect, tried to maintain the dream logic that usually governed our interactions, but she wasn't having it. "No," she said firmly. "I see you now. Really see you. You're not just a dream, are you? You're actually coming into my dreams somehow." The dream began to fracture around us. Her realization was disrupting the unconscious acceptance that usually allowed me to exist in her dream world. I could feel myself being pushed out, could sense her mind rejecting the invasion now that she was aware of it. "Wait," she called, as I felt myself being pulled back to my own consciousness. "Don't go. I need to understand. How is this possible? How are you here?" I woke up in my own bed, heart racing, knowing that everything had changed. She was aware of me now. She knew someone was entering her dreams, and it was only a matter of time before she figured out it was the man from the coffee shop. For 3 days I avoided the coffee shop, terrified of facing her, of seeing accusation, of fear in her eyes. Her dreams during those 3 days were desperate, searching. She kept dreaming about the coffee shop, about looking for someone who wouldn't appear. "Please come back," she would call out in her dreams. "I don't care how this is happening. I just need to understand. I need to see you. Last night, I couldn't stay away anymore." In her dream, I appeared in the coffee shop again, but this time, I didn't try to hide what I was. "My name is Daniel," I told her. "I don't know how this started or why it's happening to us. 6 months ago, I had an accident, and when I recovered, I started appearing in your dreams. I never meant to invade your privacy. I never meant to make you fall in love with someone who might not really exist." She looked at me with those incredible green eyes, and instead of fear or anger, I saw wonder. "But you do exist," she said. "I've seen you. You're real. You're here. And somehow we're connected in a way that defies everything I thought I knew about the world. I've been falling in love with you for 6 months, I confessed. But it's not fair, because I know you. Ways no one should know another person without permission. I've seen your fears, your hopes, your most private thoughts. And I've been falling in love with you too," she replied. "But what if that's not wrong? What if this is how we were meant to meet? What if some connections are so deep that they transcend normal reality?" The dream was more stable this time, more real. I could feel her emotions as clearly as my own, could sense her genuine curiosity rather than fear about our impossible situation. "Tomorrow," she said, "I'm going to look for you, the real you, and we're going to figure out how to make this work in the waking world." I woke up this morning knowing that today, everything changes. In a few hours, I'm going to walk into that coffee shop, and instead of being a stranger, I'm going to be the man who's been sharing her dreams for 6 months. I'm terrified and exhilarated in equal measure. What if the connection we have in dreams doesn't translate to real life? What if I'm just an ordinary man without the supernatural ability to be everything she needs? What if she realizes that the perfect partner she's been dreaming about is just someone with an inexplicable neurological anomaly? But I'm also hopeful, because last night, for the first time in 6 months of shared dreams, she saw me exactly as I am, flawed, uncertain, still healing from trauma, and she didn't turn away. In 2 hours, I'm going to walk into a coffee shop and say, "Hi, Emma. I'm Daniel. I think we need to talk about the dreams we've been sharing. And then we'll find out if a love that was born in dreams can survive in the harsh light of reality. Wish me luck." I'm about to find out if the most impossible love story of my life can become the most real thing I've ever experienced. The dreams were just the beginning.